Your greatest threat is not the man who hates you, it is the one who claims he loves you while quietly sharpening the blade. Because every family has 4 dangerous personalities, and if you fail to recognize them, they will shape your life more than your ambition ever will. Let's begin. 1. The quiet timer. This is the relative who survives through silence, not peaceful silence, strategic silence. The quiet timer watches you with the patience of a man waiting for a fire that he believes must eventually burn. He never confronts you, he never argues, he never discourages you openly. He simply collects every mistake, every insecurity, every flaw, and stores them like ammunition. Machiavelli warned that the enemy who reveals nothing is the most dangerous. The quiet timer never reveals anything, not support, not doubt, not envy, not admiration, just observation. He remembers the version of you that struggled, and he refuses to update that image. If you were weak at 15, he still sees you as weak at 30. Your growth threatens him because it invalidates the story he has written about you in his head, and that story is his comfort, his anchor, his certainty. But here's what makes him lethal. He waits for instability, a breakup, a mistake, a financial slip, a miscalculation. The moment life shakes you, he steps forward, calm, certain, almost relieved. He uses phrases disguised as sympathy, but sharpened like a knife. Some things never change. You've always had trouble with that. I saw this coming. He isn't predicting your future. He's preserving his past image of you. Your stumble restores the world to the way he believes it should be. Think of the Joker in The Dark Knight, not causing every disaster, but waiting for the perfect moment when chaos aligns with his worldview. That is the quiet timer. A man who needs you to be unstable so his identity feels stable. The more powerful you become, the more he fades into the shadows. Not because he hates you, but because he no longer recognizes the man you've become. You outgrew his script, and he has nothing left to say. 2. The shadow competitor. This personality does not compete with your goals. He competes with your meaning. You can change careers, cities, values, and habits, but his mission stays the same. Stay above you, morally, emotionally, or symbolically. The shadow competitor defines himself in contrast to you. If you pursue ambition, he glorifies simplicity. If you pursue discipline, he glorifies freedom. If you chase power, he glorifies humility. But none of this is authentic. It is simply the opposite of whatever you're becoming. Machiavelli wrote that men who cannot rise through merit rise through narrative. The shadow competitor specializes in narrative. Where you rise through decisions, he rises through storytelling. He reframes your discipline as obsession, your accomplishments as luck, your strategic nature as coldness, your ambition as arrogance, not because he believes any of this, but because it preserves the illusion that he's not behind. He's just choosing a different path, a path that just happens to justify his lack of movement. A man once shared a story with me. He built a business from nothing, long nights, grinding, suffering, sacrifice. At every family gathering, his relatives smiled and said, "Money isn't everything. Some people lose themselves chasing it." Years passed, the business grew, the relatives stayed exactly the same. And one day, he overheard that same relative whisper, "He's successful, but he's not happy. People like him never are." That whisper wasn't an insult. It was a shield protecting a fragile ego from the truth that stagnation was a choice. This is the shadow competitor. He doesn't want more. He wants you to have less. He can't outrun you, so he rewrites the scoreboard. He's Loki from the early Thor movies, not jealous of the throne itself, jealous of what the throne represents. Identity, respect, destiny. You cannot win with him, because whenever you rise, he moves the goalposts. Your success must always be contaminated for him to feel clean. 3. The virtue judge. This is the moral authority of the family, the guardian of how things should be, the protector of values, traditions, and expectations. But beneath the noble exterior is something much simpler, a fear of losing influence. The virtue judge doesn't attack your ambition. He attacks your character, not to correct you, but to control you. He frames your growth as betrayal. He frames your boundaries as disrespect. He frames your independence as arrogance, because your evolution forces him to confront the limits of his own. While you shed the past, he clings to it as proof that he still matters. While you rewrite the future, he cites tradition as if it is universal law. He uses disappointment as a weapon. the kind that cuts silently. He sighs instead of arguing. He says, "You've changed," instead of, "I'm threatened." Machiavelli taught that the man who controls the moral narrative controls the crowd. The virtue judge controls the moral narrative, not through logic, through guilt. If you stay small, you're humble. If you grow, you're ungrateful. If you obey, you're honorable. If you question, you're corrupted. And the most dangerous part, he genuinely believes in his own righteousness. You've seen this archetype in Game of Thrones, the High Sparrow. The man whose moral authority gives him more power than kings, not because he is strong, but because people fear moral judgment more than physical threat. The virtue judge doesn't want you to be weak. He wants you to be predictable. Predictability keeps him in control. Your freedom destroys the system he built, so he attacks not your decisions, but your soul. 4. The drowning hand. This personality doesn't manipulate through skill. He manipulates through collapse. The drowning hand is always in crisis, always recovering, always overwhelmed, always one mistake away from disaster, not because life is unfair to him, but because chaos is the ecosystem he creates. He doesn't plan, he reacts. He doesn't build, he survives. He doesn't learn, he repeats. You help him because you're loyal, because you're compassionate, because you believe that with just a little more support, he will finally rise. But he never rises, because survival through collapse is his identity. He appears only when he needs something: money, time, favors, comfort, validation. And once his crisis is solved, he disappears until the next one. Machiavelli warned that a leader must never tie his fate to a man who cannot support his own weight. The moment you try to pull him up, he drags you down. The more you save him, the more he sinks. The more he sinks, the more he needs you. And the more he needs you, the more you drown with him. Think of Whiplash, when Andrew tries maintaining relationships with people who don't understand his mission, people whose uncertainty slowly pulls him off his path, not intentionally, just naturally. That's the drowning hand, not malicious, but gravitational. He pulls everything around him downward, including you. Your ambition becomes secondary to his emergencies. Your progress becomes delayed by his chaos. Your peace becomes shattered by his instability. Not because he wants to ruin you, but because he cannot stay afloat without using you as the raft. Here is what men dodge until it's too late. Your downfall rarely starts with enemies. It starts with the people you trust, without evaluation. The quiet timer waits for your fall. The shadow competitor thrives on your stagnation. The virtue judge binds you with guilt. The drowning hand uses your strength as his life support. None of them must hate you to harm you. Their nature alone is enough. And Machiavelli's wisdom cuts through all illusions. A man becomes powerful the moment he stops giving unfiltered access to his life, his weaknesses, and his direction. Power begins with selective closeness. Carry this with precision. A man is not betrayed by enemies. He is betrayed by the people he assumed required no caution. Guard your future with the discipline of a king. If you want to learn more about dark psychology and human nature, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you soon.